From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, September 18th, 2017. Silver is trading at $17.33 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,311 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 3.2 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $4,108. Antiwar.com reports President Trump's commitment last month to escalate the Afghan war has the U.S. government looking at ambitious new schemes for the occupation in the years and decades to come. Among the first such fights is a major public works project in the capital of Kabul. Kabul has a disastrously poor security history throughout the U.S. occupation, but security is somewhat better in the Green Zone. The plan then is for the Pentagon to greatly expand the Green Zone to encompass a lot more of the city, including most of the Western embassies. In the near term, the idea is to improve security around the U.S. Embassy and end the current situation where helicopters are constantly ferrying people to and from the embassy because that's the only safe way to get people there. What it means in the long run is less clear. Clearly, there is a limit to how much the Green Zone can ultimately be expanded, and the terrible security system across the rest of the country is going to remain a problem even if embassy activity gets a bit more convenient. If anything, the move likely represents a lack of good ideas for how to secure the country at large, instead working on a tiny fraction of the capital. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. UPI reports Hurricane Jose, the storm that immediately followed Irma, is expected to cause trouble along the U.S. coast later this week, anywhere from Delaware to Massachusetts, according to forecasters. In a 5 a.m. advisory, the National Hurricane Center said the center of Jose was about 280 miles east-southeast of Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, and 385 miles west of Bermuda. The storm's sustained winds remained at about 85 miles per hour, and the storm was moving north at 9 miles per hour. Jose is not expected to make landfall in the United States, but officials say it may create potentially life-threatening conditions. Tropical storm watches have been issued between Delaware and Massachusetts, meaning tropical force conditions are possible. Rainfall of 3 to 5 inches could be expected over eastern Long Island, southern Connecticut, southern Rhode Island, and southeast Massachusetts through Wednesday. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports manipulating the boundaries of legislative districts to help one party tighten its grip on power in a move called partisan gerrymandering is a political practice nearly as old as the United States itself, and one the Supreme Court has never curbed. That could soon change, with 9 justices making the legal fight over Republican-drawn electoral maps in Wisconsin one of the first cases they hear during the 2017-2018 term that begins next month. Their ruling in the case could influence American politics for decades. Wisconsin officials point to the difficulty of having courts craft a workable standard for when partisan gerrymandering violates constitutional protections. Opponents of the practice said limits are urgently needed, noting that sophisticated technology tools now enable a dominant party to devise with new precision state electoral maps that marginalize large swaths of voters in legislative elections. Michael Lee, an expert in redistricting at the New York University School of Law's Brennan Center for Justice, said there's a sense that something has gone amiss with American democracy, that there's this effort to rig the rules of the game. Gerrymandering used to be a dark art, now it's a dark science. The justices will hear arguments on October 3rd in that Wisconsin appeal of a lower court ruling that found the electoral map dropped by state Republicans after the 2010 census ran afoul of the U.S. Constitution. The Supreme Court for decades has been willing to invalidate state electoral maps on the grounds of racial discrimination. However, the Supreme Court has never settled on a standard by which partisan gerrymandering claims can be measured. In a 2004 case, Justice Anthony Kennedy left the door open for a workable standard to eventually be found. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.